Human boy took the bite intended for an alien girl. Then power stirred in his veins. Deathworld leg. On the outer edge of the Heliox trade ring, where dozens of species crossed paths in uneasy peace, there was a rule every non-human child learned early. Do not provoke Earthborns. Most didn't understand why. Humans looked soft compared to plated Dravari, fragile next to the towering Celt, and almost laughably underarmed. But the galaxy knew Earth's classification, Deathworld, and whispered warnings followed every human ship like a shadow. Evan Hale was 13 years old when those whispers finally mattered. He had been born on Earth but raised mostly in orbit, following his mother from station to station as she worked xenobiology contracts. He wasn't a soldier, wasn't augmented, and wasn't special by any galactic metric. He was just a boy who liked old holo games, gravity-free racing, and watching alien sunsets through reinforced glass. On Heliox Station, Evan had one real friend. Her name was Lyrythel. Lyri was a small, soft-scaled alien girl from the Virexian spiral, with wide bioluminescent eyes and delicate limb fronds that glowed faintly when she laughed. Her species evolved on a low-threat world, rich in nutrients and free of apex predators. They were gentle by nature, not built for fear or violence. That made Heliox dangerous for her. The station had neutral law, but corners existed where law faded and instincts took over. Predator species prowled those corridors, and some of them saw smaller beings not as citizens, but as opportunities. Evan knew that. That was why he walked Lyri home every cycle. The incident happened in a maintenance ring far from the trade concourse. The lights flickered there, and the artificial gravity fluctuated slightly, a sign of aging infrastructure. Evan hated that section, but it was the shortest route to Lyri's habitat pod. They didn't notice the Graxian at first. Graxians were apex ambush predators, six-limbed, muscle-wrapped, with hinged jaws designed to crush armored prey. Their species wasn't officially banned from Heliox, but everyone knew what they were capable of. The Graxians stepped from the shadows, nostrils flaring. Lyri froze. Fear scent flooded the air. Evan stepped forward, without thinking. "Hey," he said, voice shaking but firm. "Back off." The Graxian's mandibles spread in amusement. "Human juvenile," it growled. "Move aside." Lyri trembled behind Evan, her bioluminescence flaring bright with terror. Graxians hunted by instinct, and fear only sharpened their hunger. The creature lunged. Evan didn't dodge. He turned, just enough. The bite meant for Lyri slammed into Evan's shoulder. Pain exploded through him like fire and lightning combined. Graxian venom surged into his bloodstream, designed to paralyze prey within seconds. Lyri screamed. The Graxian recoiled, already anticipating collapse. But Evan didn't fall. Something shifted. On Earth, venom was rarely simple. Across millions of years, human biology had evolved in response to toxins, poisons, and hostile environments. Immune systems learned fast. Adrenal glands responded faster. Evan's heart slammed into overdrive. The venom didn't spread the way it was supposed to. Instead, it burned. His vision sharpened. Sound stretched and clarified. The weight of gravity felt lighter. His muscles tensed, not in panic, but readiness. The Graxian hesitated. "That is impossible," it hissed. Evan growled. He didn't know why, but he moved. He drove his fist into the Graxian's jaw with every ounce of adrenaline his Deathworld body could produce. The impact cracked chitin. The predator staggered back, stunned. Leary stared in disbelief. Evan barely felt the pain now. His body flooded itself with chemicals meant for survival, pain dampeners, strength amplifiers, reflex enhancers. Not artificial. Not engineered. Natural. The Graxian roared and charged again. Evan met it head-on. He ducked beneath grasping claws, slammed his shoulder into its midsection, and drove it into the bulkhead. Metal dented. The station rang. The Graxian collapsed, stunned and bleeding. Security alarms blared as automated systems finally detected the disturbance. Evan stood there, breathing hard, vision swimming as the surge began to fade. Then he collapsed. Evan woke in a medbay surrounded by beings he didn't recognize. Doctors of 6 species hovered around him, holoscanners sweeping back and forth. Leary sat beside the bed, her eyes glowing with relief as she saw him stir. "You lived," she whispered. "Yeah," Evan croaked. "Guess so." The doctors weren't celebrating. They were terrified. The venom should have stopped his heart, one said. Instead, his physiology neutralized it. And his strength output tripled, another added. Without augmentation. News traveled fast. By the time Evan could sit up, station security, trade officials, and xenobiologists crowded the observation deck. Footage of the incident replayed again and again. The moment the human boy took the bite, the moment the predator realized it had made a mistake. Galactic analysts coined a phrase within hours. Deathworld surge response. A natural biological state triggered by extreme threat to self or bonded individuals. Evan didn't understand the science. He only knew one thing. Leary was safe. The Graxian survived. Barely. When questioned, it offered a single statement before being transferred off station. The human did not break, it said. The human adapted. Heliox Station changed after that. Predator species kept their distance. Security protocols were updated. Human juveniles were no longer classified as low-risk non-combatants. As for Evan, offers came, research programs, military academies, off-world sponsorships. He declined them all. He stayed. He walked Leary home every cycle. The bite scar faded into a thin white mark on his shoulder, a reminder of what humans carried beneath their skin. Not rage, not violence, but the raw will to endure. On the day Leary's family prepared to leave Heliox, she hugged him tightly, her bioluminescence warm and steady. "You changed everything," she said. Evan shook his head. "I just didn't want you to get hurt." Leary smiled softly. "That," she said, "is why the galaxy fears Deathworlders." Her ship departed, slipping into hyperspace. Evan watched until the stars swallowed it. Somewhere deep within his veins, the echo of power slept once more, quiet, patient, waiting for the next moment when survival would demand that a human rise again. And, across the galaxy, the lesson spread. On a death world, even the children are dangerous, not because they seek conflict, but because when someone they care about is threatened, they do not break.